expertise in delivering supply chain management solutions using Dynamics 365 F&O. He also has strong implementation experience in the ETE processes like order to cash, procure to pay, forecast to plan, inventory to deliver, etc., etc. So we have an expert here who has also worked in multiple domains, including IT services as well as solutions. And he has looked after delivery in large engagements, which entails a wide span like customer service, technology-enabled business transformations, enterprise solutions and integration, program management, pre-sales. Like he has been into what all and what not. That is what I could say about him. And he also has a strong exposure to industry verticals, including telecom, insurance, BPO, healthcare, supply chain, logistics, e-learning, discrete batch manufacturing processes, and a lot more on his profile. So I would like to hand over the session to Mr. Sesha. Yeah, over to you.
Yeah. Thanks, Radhika, for the introduction. So let's get into the webinar. Welcome everybody to this webinar. So in this webinar, today we are going to see how D65 capabilities support in terms of achieving excellence in HR for any organization. It could be a medium, small, medium, or enterprise kind of organizations where HR plays a key role. So let me share my screen. Can you all see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Yes. Okay, fine. So today, we are going to see how the Dynamics 365 capabilities offer in terms of achieving excellence in HR. So we are going to see the entire HR journey and with some detailed deep dive into some of the processes, end-to-end processes within the HR. So here is a bigger picture of HR, and we also call it as the hire to retire process. And it's one of the many processes that normally supported on D65, like order to cash and then procure to pay. All these are different processes, end-to-end processes. So similarly, in a HR perspective, this HR hire to retire is basically hiring employees to fulfill certain requirements within the organization, right? So how the total journey, if you see the journey, entire journey, like for any organization, it could be a medium, small, or enterprise kind of organization. So you start with some kind of a HR system, HR structure within your organization, and then we have all the policies, everything will be set up as an initial a stage. And then based on the requirements that come from time to time, you have open positions. Then we have a budget for that, and then we actually hire open positions, and then onboard new employees. So that's another stage. You can see recruit and onboard talent. That's one kind of as sub processes. So if you see in the logical sequence, if you go through all like this in the direction. So the managed compliance, once you onboard, you make sure that the compliances are basically met in terms of safety standards, in terms of the other government standards, or make sure that suppose if there is an injury or any workplace related hazards, how you ensure that we do all the analysis and then ensure that that don't recur, and then also safety protocols, certain safety protocols have to be maintained, safety audits. All these things are the compliance part of your employee engagement. And then we have a performance and growth. So once the employee is onboarded and he is actually been hired to fulfill certain jobs or duties, right? So so along the way, so you need to see how he's performing, and then how the skills are, like whether he has to develop skills over a period of time, how, because he has to he gets some kind of additional responsibilities over a period of time, and maybe probably he has got an opportunity to grow the ladder, right, in the organizational ladder. So how the skills are basically is tuning up the skills and then filling up the gaps, how you can do through performance reviews, and then all that particular the structure is there in the HR D65, and we're going to show you some of these processes, because it's not within the time window we have. It's not possible to show all these processes, but we can deep dive into some of these processes, key processes, end to end. You can see that the process orchestration. We are going to show in the subsequent the slides where I can walk you through that the structure as well as the process, how the HR as a such D65 supports in a in fulfilling those requirements. And then similarly, time and attendance as employee comes, and then how you track the time and attendance, and how you capture and how you integrate into your system. So, and then compensation benefits, of course, it's very important to ensure the employee satisfaction, satisfied with the not only monetary, but also he gets some rewards for his performance, and then for the work or service he's delivering, and then the excellence in whatever he's being offering in his services, right? And then all those things are a part of compensation benefits. And then finally, the last ones probably at some point of time, probably you need to offboard talent. Basically, it could be several reasons. Maybe employee wants to look for some other additional move on or something. So there will be some exit process. How you can ensure that the exit process is streamlined, and you take all the information reviews, and then so all those things are a complete journey you see here. And along with that, there are some additional enablers if you see here, and additional the supporting features where you can accomplish either through integrating with third-party apps, and most of them are Microsoft in the Microsoft what you call ecosystem only. You can see the SharePoint. Suppose there's a lot of documentation or a lot of the process approvals involved, so that you can integrate very well, integrate with a SharePoint, and so you can submit any document through HR your system, and it will go through some kind of approvals normally the way you see it in SharePoint. So they're very well integrated, and similarly Teams also very much integrated, so that you can also integrate with your so that will give you a best employee engagement, where the Teams is a more of a communication platform where team members can exchange information, they can talk, and so all these things are possible, and so you see all the seamless experience. Similarly, there are some recruitment apps. I'm going to walk you through one of the recruitment apps. This again an extension add-on provided by D65. Again, it's built on some kind of a additional Power Platform a suite of applications. And similarly, there's a AI, artificial intelligence. So now it's widely, extensively used in all the places wherever there is a scope and opportunity to help or enhance the employee experience, right? And then SharePoint. And similarly, in performance growth also, we have some Viva is again employee experience platform, is a Microsoft suite of application tools. So learning insights, all those things can be integrated, so that if you see some kind of a learning portals, LMS kind of systems. So Viva Learning can help, or LinkedIn Learning. All this can be integrated, so that when you see some gaps, how you can fulfill the gaps through trainings. So the trainings are basically it is achieved through LMS, learning management system, right? So so these are all very seamless transition, like how we see the performance, the growth, and all, how we can plan the career. So all these things are possible through continuous learning and reviewing the skill gaps. And I'm going to show you those three important processes in subsequent slides when we discuss on this. And similarly, there are some time clock. It's possible to integrate with the HR outside actionable time clock devices, and so you can get the capture all the time, time in and out all the times. And similarly, this is also a ForeVision is another partner. Basically, they have some kind of payroll interfacing. This is just an example, but in the next slide, I'm going to show you the entire architecture. So by which you can integrate with third-party applications seamlessly, and also there's a first party apps we call, like Power Automate, and then the other within the Microsoft system, ecosystem that they work, right? And so this is an overview of HR, and then when we just go into the next, see here you can see the entire architecture overview. Like you see on the top, there are all Microsoft Dynamics 365 product family of applications: sales, CRM, marketing, and then we have finance and operations is the ERP. and project operations, where you suppose there's a projectized kind of organization where you want to take up anything, anything, a service or anything you want to deliver to your customers through projects. There's a project operation is one such a product. So likewise, there are a number of different products, how they are interconnected with other enhanced enablers or extension capabilities. So the data, Microsoft Dataverse, earlier it is called combined, common data services. Now that's basically that enables data continuous exchange between these applications, so that suppose you want to enhance and enable, extend the capabilities through Power Platform, so that say the data gets transmits from between the systems. You see that the data and the flow and then functionality are seamless. So if you see, these are called, all these applications down here, they'll Power Automate, part of the Power Platform. That is, BI is like a reporting and analytics capability, and there's Automate, where you want to implement some kind of orchestration, process orchestration, or you want to extend through some apps, some additional apps or web pages. You can do that. Similarly, there is some additional other ISV third-party tools and applications you can integrate very well. And similarly, if you want, because everything D365, all that products work on cloud, they can be launched on cloud, Azure cloud. But suppose still you want to have some on-premises services and application you want to integrate, you can integrate through this complete ecosystem. So this is an overview, just to give you an idea. So whatever I talked in the previous HR journey, so how we can extend this HR capabilities. So this is a technology stack and architecture will help in that accomplishing those extended capabilities. Right? So next, let's get into the actual processes we're talking about. So this is one of the important process, recruitment process use case, which we just saw in our journey, like recruitment and onboarding the employee. So basically, the process here starts like, normally in any organization. Suppose you have certain openings and you define job, and then you have a number of positions to be filled in, and then you create a request, through HR. And from HR, it goes to a recruiter. Recruiter could be a part of your organization or could be external, but the recruiter is a special role here. So there's a manager, hiring manager is one kind of a, if you see the kind of each one is a one typical streamline diagram kind of a thing. That's how I'm representing here. And then we have a candidate. So the recruiter finds a candidate. So he schedule interviews and then invite him to apply through some kind of a job portal. And then finally, it comes, then he'll schedule the interviews, and then then finally there's a panel, recruiters will be involved in this, and the conducting interviews and feedback and final selection. So once you select, then finally you make an offer, and then once he accepts, then ultimately it will lead to the candidate gets hired, and then once he hired, and he'll get into the system. Like it's basically you're onboarding an employee, new employee, right? This entire cycle. It's a common. It's nothing new I'm talking about here. General. This is basic cycle, and you will see how this gets fulfilled on D365. The next slide. So basically, it's just a diagram. Don't don't look into all the details. It's not required, but basically understand at a very high level. If you see here, there is a recruiting request, as I told you in the previous slide. So the recruiting request comes from the F&O, the ERP system. And then there is a two other layers here, like recruiting app, and then career site is actually when provided by Microsoft Power Platform tools here. So basically, there again extended web application here, basically web pages. So job ad is one portal. You can configure, and it's like you don't have to develop anything. It's a low code, it's a low code kind of a experience you get. So job kind of a portal, automatically recruiting app it basically provides where you can create a job ad, correspond to your request, and then how you can fill all the information, all the question required, and the status, and then what are the criteria, and all this questionnaire, interview scheduling, everything you can perform on this recruitment app. And there is some screening questions, everything part of the entire job ad, the structure here. And then once you have a job ad, you post into some kind of there's a career site is another extended application. So where you can where the people from outside whoever is seeking the job, so you can check this site and then you can apply. Once it applies in there's a seamless integration between these two. And once the interview, whoever is the panel working on this are operating through this recruitment app, finally, once he finalizes and confirms, finally the data or everything flows back to the 365, right? This is the entire cycle. So this is just a high level representation. You don't have to right now worry too much about these details. It's just a kind of information I'm just showing. So don't get overwhelmed by this information, but just a high level. I'm sure you understand the picture here, the bigger picture here. Now let's see. This is just a flow. What you see that the create and post. Suppose if you just I'm color coded the different layers application like recruitment app. Suppose it's a gray this thing. You create a post and then job ad correspond to the request, and then finally this is basically the career site. Career site means any job seeker signs into the career site and creates his own profile. He applies for a job that is being posted here by this, and then then it goes through the further down and review applicants, then prospect. So basically, based on the review, so out of the applicants, normally recruiter what he'll screen, right? Shortlist, right? Basically it's kind of a shortlisting only. So he'll pick some prospects, and then he, from the prospects, and again they'll call, big scheduled and contracted, and then finally the interviews are all. I mean, this is represented very high level. I'm not getting into all the details here, but just at a high level, these are all represented here, like provide feedback, and finally how this all three application act in tandem and see the final result here. Finally, the candidate gets hired. When the candidate is hired, then in the D65 you see an applicant. You see the applicants correspond to their positions. In the applicant, if you say hire, there's an option called hire. Then the employee itself gets hired with all the information, whatever is been taken from captured from this the process here. So this is the entire cycle recruitment flow, and with the help of add-ons, we can do this. So this is about recruitment cycle. And then the next important one is skill management is a very ongoing review and processes, because that is required for several other functions in the organization. Like suppose normally when you have an employee here, so you have a job, so you select certain persons to a job position. So then you always need to a match should be established, right? So you always configure skills for job as well as for that employee, right? So that over a period of time, you always find some kind of a gaps, and how you fill the gaps, and some kind of analysis. You can do some ongoing kind of processes you can perform through this the framework, right? Then you can add skills, or employee can himself claim, oh, I enhanced my skills through trainings. Then there will be some approval. So your reporting manager or whoever, we can set up some kind of a workflow so that his skills get approved. Or similarly, his manager or somebody higher ups can also add skills on his behalf, so that way his skills gets enhanced and updated from time to time. Similarly, approving we talked about, and then there's a mapping skills, very important this step, where you have to run this mapping from time to time to make sure that the skills are up to date with the roles and jobs he's doing. And then similarly, an employee in a particular position so we want to consider him for some other position in the organization. There's a vacant position, so how you can match with that, or how can you can also create some kind of a profile, skill profile, where you want to compare, okay, for future succession or future growth or something. So I want to have some certain skills of leadership skills. I want to see who are the current members who can fill this gap, fill this particular position. So some kind of a comparing with some kind of a profile, run this profile through and see the employees close to whoever is skills match particular thing. If at all there are gaps, how you can fill the, so all these things, information is the process information will be kind of an input to this this downstream, like products like processes. Sorry. So you can say you can set some smart goals here. So measurable, smart, like time-bound, smart goals, and so that he can accomplish those goals over a period of time, set timelines, and so that he can get to that level where so the skills are upgraded to, right? And so that way the skill gap analysis on a continuous basis will be helpful in career path setting, and then you can do some trainings based on skill gaps, and similarly succession planning we just talked about, right? So the skill gap analysis is another important process that's really we can accomplish with all this desistify the inbuilt standard features, and also with all the extensions we talked about, like Viva platform or will other LMS platform integrations, right? Similarly, this is just a one component structure, so nothing to very much, because this is just again you can how the performance, basically we are talking about performance review, how it works in D65. Like you set some goals. Goals can be set by employee or manager can set a goals, and then so you plan your goals, how you want to accomplish the goals over a period of time, and how those goals can be measured through some kind of a rating models. So that happens through performance review. Performance review can be all this normally in an organization, like we have a yearly appraisal, quarterly appraisal, and time to time you do some appraisal and you share your feedback to employee about a performance. Similarly, it's not only about appraisal or annual increment for increments, but also for employee growth himself, you can set some kind of a path performance reviews. So there's several ways you can use this framework performance review tools and the framework to manage all these different paths and all the different jobs or accomplishments. Like for example, maybe he want to, it could be a career growth, it could be improving the personal development, or it could be some skill development, or it could be make sure that through a series of reviews, performance reviews, will finally reach the where we are actually expecting an employee to be certain years down the line, or to see the future leadership roles kind of thing. So this is the overview of performance. Like the goal is very important component, and goals have certainly definitely have a measurement model here, how you can measure and about right. Performance journal is something where you can report any event. Suppose I get an appreciation from a your client, so you can report. Like a journal is anything. Journal is anything that records any kind of event or transaction, right? In this case, in this context, we have suppose we have normally when you get through so many emails, right? So this is more of a streamlined, and in one place you can see all the information related to your performance. So if it could be your a colleague or a employee who probably appreciates your help, right, in certain projects of the other employee, right? So you can also pass on the kudos or good job done, kind of that kind of a message, or so that can also be recorded as a. So all these things can be combined into performance review. So that will help in the overall assessment, and there will be again a lot of factors, capabilities, and different goals. All these two major capabilities of to perform his current job, and goals normally for going to the next level. Right? There's a difference. So how both can be measured and give some weightage based on that to get some rating. So based on the rating, that will be helpful in increments and compensation, all those things. So this is the overall structure. And then, as I told you, the performance journal is the one where a component where you can store all the information related to feedback. Could be employee or could be manager himself can share the information or a message or anything, feedback. So this is just about a performance journal, how it capture all the information, and then and also this is just a process. Like I shown you a structure for the performance review. Now it's a flow. So normally a manager creates a review, or it can be triggered through some automated process review, for because there will be thousands of employees there in organization. So you cannot create individually one by one. So there is a way you can create reviews. The way you get an email, right, in organization, okay, hey, this annual review is due, so you have to fill reprisal form and then submit by so and so date, right? That kind of email and all that process, all this can be automated and you can get it. So through ESS, there's a D65 supports employee self-support, kind of a portal. Similarly, manager has their own supporting the portal, right? So they can check all these latest updates and the task he had to do or reviews he has to complete. All those things are, these are all features or workspaces added in the D65. There are standard features. And you can begin the review and employee starts filling the review form and then he completes, and then when he submits the manager, and then if there are any changes or any questions, probably can revert back to the employee and he can again submit like in the standard cycle. And when he comments in sign off and then employee sign off, that's the complete, so he cannot edit further. So the sign off for both sides is important, and then that completes the cycle. So this just the three processes we have discussed end to end, and this give you an idea how this HR actually, and with all these enhanced capabilities, help in accomplishing all these functionalities and running this HR, and how we can accomplish all this excellent. And similarly, in other functions, though it's are three, but there are several other things I shown you in the previous journey, right? End-to-end journey. They're all well supported, like leave of absence or payroll, compensation. All those things are well supported. It's a full-fledged HR now, as you see in the D65. So that's pretty much to cover you, give you an idea, and then some deep dive into this processes. So that's want to share in today's webinar. And yeah, so thanks for watching the webinar, and I hope you enjoy the webinar. And now it's open for question and answers. Thank you.
Hi, Sisha. It's
Hi.
Tanushree here.
Hi, Tanushree.
So first of all, thank you for such an exhaustive session on HR capabilities of Dynamic 365. I had only thought about, I had only associated Dynamic 365 with the CRM module, but the HR module was nice to hear. I just wanted to understand, does Dynamic 365 have predictive analytics capabilities? For example, HR these days are very much, aligned with predicting the attrition rate or predicting, the number of employees they would need to hire, let's say 1 year, 2 year, 3 year down the line. And accordingly, they want to align their people strategy or hiring strategy, whatever. So how much of a scope it is within the current platform?
That's a good question. Yeah, definitely, it is possible. Like see, there are built-in support for presenting the analytics based on what parameters you want to look at, and there is also AI capability, like I shown you in that. So the AI also can dig into the information within that organization, and then see the trend, and also so it extracts some intelligence out of it, the data, and then can definitely present within that HR model. So it's very much capable. So in fact, it's not something one single tool you can do that, but of course you have to explore and then see how we can package that through a kind of a solution. But it's possible.
Okay.
The current kind of a series of there's a Copilot. Microsoft has extensively promoting that AI tools, not only Dynamics in across their products and all. So the AI capabilities are very much prevalent, and then people are really appreciating and then really adapting to that. So not only that AI, but we have to understand what you can accomplish, what are the extensive capabilities you can do. So once you understand that, so it's your imagination. So it's like you ask predictive analytics. Definitely, yes, it's possible. But how you can best utilize is the question, like how you can package all this thing and then make it to kind of more of a tool to the HR or to the organization.
Right. So there is scope of custom
Yes.
build implementation
Yes,
on top of
absolutely,
the
absolutely.
platform. Okay, all right. Yeah, that was one of my questions. And the second question was, within Casadera, what accounts are we serving, or are there any customers that we are serving this HR module for Dynamics 365, or have we started using this for any customer?
Maybe Muthu, you want to, because I have been associated with Casadera and I actually implemented a couple of supply chain implementation, but Muthu probably has a better access to that. Probably can answer that.
Yes, then
Sure.
the HR module, right? So we already
Yeah,
did,
Muthu, yeah.
we did some HRMS module. Yes, I said we did it actually. Am I audible?
Yes,
Muthu. So I was just asking if there is any existing customer who's using the HR module, what Sesha just presented to us.
Yes, depends upon it. So they have an existing Dynamics 365 HR modules also used, and we have some extensions of Power Apps based extensions. The solutions which we also have with it is in part of Casadera. That is also we have built and we sell it to them.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Combined one, or else that depends upon the extensive HRMS module. Based on that, we are selling it. And also the Power Apps extension, which is used by us, our talent team is which is using by us. Our talent team is using our product actually.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions?
Yeah, so I think we can wind up. Thank you all
thank you.
for
Thanks, Radhika. Yeah, thanks everyone for watching this webinar.
Thank you.
Thank you once again. Yeah. Bye.